In the newest episode of The Boys, we see Homelander at Tech Knight's party. He's here to gain the support of the 1%. We see him speaking to Senator Calhoun, who was previously seen in Season 1 being blackmailed by Stillwell. He mentions gaining the speakership after 18 votes, reflecting the real-world politician Kevin McCarthy, who got the speakership after 15 votes in. Afterward, he meets up with Victoria Newman, who is deeply uncomfortable being at this party. However, Homelander and Sage have her pegged as the next person who will take over as they eliminate Singer, a plot actually done in the comics when President Robert Dakota Bob Schaefer was murdered and replaced by President Victor K. Newman, a puppet placed by Vought and, according to Garth Ennis, a parody of President George W. Bush. He also mentions that it's interesting that Stan Edgar has been released from prison. Victoria brushes this off, saying he's no longer a threat to them. Next, we see Newman talking to Senator Calhoun about abortion, when her head suddenly explodes in a bloody, gory mess. However, it turns out that she was fine and was just having a Scrubs-type daydream, which was great to include in the teaser, I guess. Guess we gotta scrap that whole video now. Anyway, we see her talking to Sage next, and we finally get some of Sage's backstory. Her grandmother was diagnosed with leukemia, and the doctors didn't care to heal her, so they left her to suffer. Sage managed to develop a cure in 3 days, but when she presented her findings, they laughed at her. This is why she's going along with Homelander's plan to no longer be the little girl that no one listens to anymore. We also see Firecracker at the party, trying some hors d'oeuvres, but not liking the fancy taste. She's the outlier here, having grown up poor and fought her way to the top. Even in a room full of people who don't have to worry about their credit scores, she's still looked down upon as white trash. Even Homelander looks down on her, well, until later. At a private meeting, Homelander gives a speech in front of the wealthy guests. He notices something off about Sister Sage and discovers that she has a bullet wound in her head. MM had shot her earlier in the episode after she taunted him about her daughter. Realizing that Sage is no longer useful, considering that she was supposed to be the person giving the speech, he decides to improvise and do it live. Initially stumbling with his fear-mongering speech, which he usually delivers to his supporters, he's told to get to the point. More a figurehead than an idea and action guy, much famously like a former president, starts to falter until Newman steps in, praising corporations as the real superpowers and implying that the founding fathers never intended the country's power to lie with the people. This wins their support, but Homelander is displeased. He achieved his goal, but was upstaged, something he strongly dislikes. Back in Homelander's penthouse, Firecracker informs him that Starlight was at the party. Tech Knight is dead and they got away. This leads Homelander to realize that Coleman wasn't the leak and was beaten to death for no reason. Firecracker then confesses to Homelander that he gave her everything, and she begins to unzip her outfit. Homelander insists that he's not attracted to her, but she corrects him, saying it's all about loyalty instead. She then breastfeeds him in the next scene. God, this show is so hard to write for on YouTube. Even the Tech Knight stuff was so hard to write for, man. Anyway, this episode leaves Homelander with the backing of the elite, a new quote-unquote mother figure, and a potential grudge against Sister Sage and Newman. It sets up a lot to look forward to in the next episodes, but what are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments down below.